And we're back.
Yes, we're back.
Uh, we have Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Um, we left off at the part where Rosencrantz is doing something weird with a pulley system. I'm trying to do something with physics, and then they fall through the floor to some weird chute system that goes to the bar.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that's a trash chute or something else, or that's a produce chute or
it's some
something.
kind of Rube Goldberg device to get them into the bar somehow.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's like made for that.
And then Hamlet just comes over and opens up the door like he knew they were there the whole time, and it's like, "Come on, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern," or whatever, and they're like, "Yeah, okay." And so that's the end of that scene, which I forget. Yeah, what was even? Yeah, there's some there. The tragedians were putting on some sort of play that was amusing Hamlet. I can't remember what, but um, oh yeah, yeah. Hamlet wishes them a good night. When we cut to it's the next day, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are recuperating at like a bathhouse or something.
Yeah.
Um, Rosencrantz approaches an epiphany of like a levee system or something, whereas like as he's getting out of the bath, like the boat he made out of paper like lowers and raises with it, which I don't know what he's supposed to get out of that. It's one of those
He's
weird.
invented the lock and dam system where you could move stuff up and down countries with
Yeah,
the raising
which I think might have already been invented at the time, but I
maybe.
don't know.
I mean, maybe somewhere in the world. This is like the Middle Ages.
Yeah,
In where are they at? Denmark. So I don't know.
yeah. Actually, yeah, I guess they would have like, yeah, because they have to do a bunch of locks and stuff there. So yeah, that
Yeah.
would be necessary. So they do crazy stuff in Denmark because they're always like a flood hazard. So like they make like public works. They build like roads and dams and all that stuff to a standard of like a 10,000 year storm.
Okay.
So because we usually build things to a standard of like 100 year storm, but when you have like 100 year storm happen like 5 times in 20 years, it's like maybe we should have a new standard.
500-year storm.
um. Oh yeah, there's like eerie music building as they have like the theater troupe shows up like they're in the bathhouse, doing various things. Um, but then Rosencrantz and Guildenstern they accost the player and like try to like what the hell are they doing? Like they're talking to him about Hamlet, I think, and trying to figure
Yeah.
out what's going on. I forget. Like I think I probably like this might be the most like over my head dialogue here. I can't even remember what's going on. It's like, well, they're talking about something, and I can't remember any of it. So, but the player warns them that their life may be in danger, which is, I guess, they didn't think of yet, or I'm not sure, or if that's just to tell the audience that that's what you're supposed to know now.
Yeah, because there's a lot of like in with the audience stuff in this movie.
Yeah, because I guess, I guess the title gives it away, but I guess also like I'm just thinking that as there's plenty, is dead or are dead movie titles. So, I guess I don't remember Rosencrantz and Guildenstern being killed at the end of Hamlet, so I guess I didn't know otherwise. So, I guess maybe this is for an audience of me that was like didn't know Hamlet. Um, because I guess I did enjoy this on some level, despite like, I guess I knew stuff about Hamlet, so I wasn't completely blind. But this does require knowing Hamlet to like get anything out of this movie,
Yeah, oh
right?
yeah, yeah. You have to be familiar with that.
You gotta know physics and you gotta know Hamlet, or else this movie will mean nothing to you.
Yeah,
So
and you have to have like some background of what like 1605 or whenever this took place is like what's going on in that world then
yeah,
because this for this part of the world that was let's see when was there that region's big because the Netherlands founded the Dutch East India Company I think in the 1650s, maybe later or maybe earlier. But like, so yeah, that part of they hadn't like grown out into the world yet as
okay,
like world power
right, okay,
because there was a time when like all the like the Netherlands and Denmark and places like that, they were world players just through trade.
Yeah.
And then that all evaporated once the British and the French came. It's like, oh, we're landing armies and we're taking things. We're not trading. We're killing. But the Dutch East India Company was terrible too. But they,
Yeah, because like the things I hear about, it's like, oh, this sounds like when they talk about like in cyberpunk novels of like these monolithic companies that control like commerce and the military and everything else. It's like that sounds like what the Dutch East India
yeah,
Company
oh
was.
yeah, yep. They, but yeah, that
Because
whole thing.
I'm not aware of any other company that existed at the time except for that company. So
No, I believe that was the first like what we'd call a gov corp now or a
okay,
conglomerate because it was backed by the government.
yeah,
And everyone and all those countries in that part of the world had one. But they were like, I think they were the real path breakers, and they also had a system of doing that where you just purpose built ships. It's like it goes out with this much weight on it, it comes back with this much weight on it. You leave all the people and stuff, and you bring back spices and all that. And it was a very what do they call it? Because they still do that business. I think it's called a conglomerate,
okay,
where it's like where a government and a lot of other businesses meet up and form a giant industry, like kind of like Airbus is now, because that's like a conglomerate of multiple different countries, governments funded in every country, and it's a private corporation,
yeah, yeah.
and they have a huge variety of things that they make. So we don't really, we still have like, we don't really do things like that normally. Sometimes we do, but we usually
I
have
mean, it
like
depends.
he does one thing and
Because I remember that when I got one book about that, was it the N2, that like that really deep submersible we made? That was a
oh, the NR1.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like, and for some reason there's a tire on it. For some reason, Kellogg owned the company that made the tire, so you get weird stuff like that.
Yeah, we don't have though here is a lot of state intervention.
Yeah, yeah,
The closest we could like the post office is like that.
yeah,
It's run by the government, but it's technically supposed to make money and be self-reliant. But it's like, well, yeah, but their charter is so massive, there's no way.
yeah.
Because the post office could be that way if they could be like, well, we're cutting off the unprofitable route, so that means poor people wouldn't get any mail in America, which kind of defeats the point of having a post office.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, that's the problem we run into.
That's the weird conundrum of, because like the post office is actually like wildly efficient. It
Hmm.
just costs a lot, and that's just like we pay for, we want a service done well, and then like we want to make money off of it. Well, it's like, well, then you don't want a good service anymore.
Amazon can deliver packages. They're not delivering packages to your house every day. And if they were, you're going broke. So it's a whole different model.
um, because I remember seeing like there's this whole system, and like it used to be bigger, but now that they've like cut it down so much, and it still works. But like they would scan things like this isn't readable, like this is return mail, and they basically would investigate it and figure out why, and then basically feed it into a computer system and like tell the computer like this is what this is saying, like almost like AI training, but not exactly that way. It's more like building a database of this is what this is.
Yeah.
And like for like, and it's like four people working on it, and they're like are fixing like 75,000 problems a day
Yeah.
for four people.
Crazy.
um what is it? Oh yeah, so then we cut to, I'm guessing it's just sometime later. The theater troupe puts on a play for like the common folk or whatever, like in the same bar they were in the night before.
Yeah.
Um and then are they just performing Hamlet but in silence?
Yeah, I believe that's what it is.
Okay.
I've tried to look up some facts from this movie, and it doesn't. There's nothing that really breaks this down.
Okay.
It's like, oh, I'm supposed to get this out of that. I just feel like I'm just watching something, and I'm so enthralled by
Well, it's like the obvious thing. There's like the king, and then like the poison, and I'm like, this is just all the end of Hamlet, right?
Yeah.
Like the king tries to poison Hamlet, and then he refuses it, and then like his mom drinks it and dies, and then
And the
he
place
kills.
poisoned, and
Yeah.
yeah, very Dune-like ending.
And then they both die, and then like I think as Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are leaving, they show two buffoons being hanged, and it's like, oh, that's us. So I'm like, this is just Hamlet, right? I do like the little bits they have, like the red claws that they'll just kind of like tape to themselves to be blood.
Yeah.
It's like, that's good.
I think the play they were putting on, because there were a lot of Greek tragedies that were similar to Shakespearean stuff,
Right. Okay.
because that's where he based on. I'm trying to find. I can't find it. I don't. There. I think they were putting on like a. It was a Greek play. It was. That's what they said they were doing. But yeah, you're right. They were just doing Hamlet.
Okay.
But they couldn't say they were, because that would be like really weird. Like, that's meta. Holy shit. So, I don't think they were quite doing that.
uh, but also, I think like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern kind of like, it's like, why so much violence? And then like, and then I think he said this is a line I picked up from the player. He says audiences know what to expect, and that's all they know to believe in. So, um, which again might be fourth wall breaking. I'm not sure. So, well, I guess once you're talking about the audience, yeah, it's you're breaking the fourth wall. It's like you're the audience. Audience.
You know this.
um, then we cut to everyone. Like I think, yeah, like literally everyone is eavesdropping on Hamlet as he does. Like, well, I think this is where I got confused because you don't hear, you see him talking, you don't hear him, and then he says like that is the question. That's where I was like, oh, is it the to be or not to be from Hamlet? So I was confused here. So maybe this is just something else in general. So, um, the king sets up a ruse to kill Hamlet, like I think, because he's like talking around in circles, and it gives Rosencrantz and Guildenstern the message.
Yeah.
Which is just an order from of the King of England to kill Hamlet, to execute him for reasons.
Yeah. What is the? Who is it for? I think it's the. Oh, damn it! My notes are
I
terrible.
want to say it's for the King of England.
I thought it was the other guy, but
Then we then we then we cut to Rosencrantz like lays down on like a. Well, I guess it's like a concrete coffin, or is this more of a sarcophagus?
yeah. I think that's how rich people got buried. So people wouldn't steal their bodies.
Yeah. He talks about being dead in a coffin and like what's the difference between just laying still in a coffin and being dead. And so it's weird existential stuff. And then at the end of it, Guildenstern just stares at him and goes, "I think I'm going to kill you." So it's very fun. And then like a page lands on Rosencrantz, a page of something or whatever. And then he makes a paper airplane out of it. He like throws it and then like ends up flying around and, like hits. It ends up just like coming back to him. We also like in between. I think this like does a scene transition because like it flies into a scene, and this is where we have Hamlet meets with Ophelia, and there's just unrequited love stuff going on here. So, um, then Guildenstern's pacing around and he hears voices in the walls as usual because that's kind of their whole thing in this movie. Then he happens upon a masked man, like when he opens like the little view slot, and then he gets scared. Um, and then like Rosencrantz is like tapping his shoulder behind him because he's made a more complex like biplane out of paper. And then
Yeah.
like he turns around, just grabs it and just rips it into pieces and throws it on the ground. So it's another physics joke in the movie, I guess. Um, then this sort of things start getting, I guess, extra weird. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern happen upon the theater troupe putting on another play, but they're in these weird masks that just look like skin without any detail on it, just like eye holes, and it's like the Halloween mask if you didn't paint it white. So,
Yeah.
or took the William Shatner mask and just took the eyes and mouth out of it. So
Yeah, it was like the mask in like the guy wore in Halloween.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Hamlet busts through, chasing Ophelia and declaring everyone who is married should die. Then the player, and um, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern talk about like play structures, which again I probably just went way over my head because I didn't write enough about it. But I get it's kind of fourth wall breaking. And then yeah, this is basically like this. Yeah, this is like Hamlet is like a part of the play now because this is where like they show basic. Oh no, this is where you have puppets come in.
Yeah.
And I think Hamlet's animating the puppets. I can't remember because this is where they show the king poisoning his brother, and then like this, again, this could be like they say it's some Greek tragedy they're putting on here, but then the king is freaked out by this because he's like, "That's what I did to my brother." It's like,
Oh no.
what are you accusing me of? And so he gets freaked out by the play, and then like, and then like runs out of there. Um, so I have that being the end of Act 2. We got Act 3. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern move to the next scene, and they say there's something they're not telling us. And then like the advisor gets Hamlet to go talk to his mother, and then the king sends Rosencrantz and Guildenstern on a mission to England to deliver a message. Okay, this is where they get the message. But like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are like hiding behind a curtain, or like on the alcoves of a curtain, and a there's a curtain and hiding a like a pass through or whatever. And then when Hamlet hears voices, he stabs the curtain and kills the advisor, and then Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are just like tucked off to the side that Hamlet doesn't know about. So um um yeah, then Rosencrantz and Guildenstern like run off to hide, and then suddenly like everything is dark and they're in a boat. And it's so it's like, is this time later? Did they run through a wormhole? What's going on here? This is how this movie works, so it's all right. So Rosencrantz lights a match and finds Guildenstern. Then they go on the top of the boat, and it's night, cold and windy. Yeah, they talk about, do you think death could possibly be on a boat? Which I guess is funny because I guess they later are just hanged on this boat. So
Yeah.
They start to do role playing again, and this time they grab the letter and open it up, and then they find it says it's instructions to cut off Hamlet's head. So this comes as a surprise to them, and so like now the gravity of the situation is like suddenly very serious, and like they realize they're way in over their head. And then Hamlet overhears them, like I think, because they have him get up and just kind of walk off, and so I presume, well, he'd have to, because then he turns this around. Guildenstern heats up the wax seal and seals it back up. And then they're basically just going to pretend that they never knew that like this is a letter to execute Hamlet, which is basically going to like be the death of them. Because presumably if they're like, if they just lose the letter now, or Hamlet overhears them protesting about this, he wouldn't have just signed their death warrants like frivolously. So yeah, Hamlet writes a new letter to the king and swaps it with Rosencrantz Guildenstern's letter. Then the ship is under attack by pirates. We have like cannonballs are like flying about. There's like a weird like, it's like the canvas of the boat is like covering a hole where there's just a bunch of people are in there, and they cut the canvas, and then like a bunch of stuff in the whole theater troupe like falls through the hole, and so you're like, well, who's fighting on top? So it's very weird, but at this point it just becomes like pretty much all metaphysical here. So and then Hamlet boards the pirate ship, and then we just like then he's just gone. Then we cut to it sometime later. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern emerge on the deck of the ship, which it kind of seems like there's... Yeah, we never see any crew. It's always just the theater troupe and Rosencrantz, Guildenstern, and Hamlet. So
Yeah.
Like, we don't even see pirates, so...
Which, yeah, because I know in the play there were pirates, but yeah.
Yeah.
It makes it seem like the theater troupe's actually running the ship.
Yeah. The theater troupe are the pirates, and they're running the ship. They're doing everything. I mean, it's what they do, I guess. So, yeah, I don't know if that's like it's like that's an extra message I didn't pick up on, like why the theater troupe is doing everything here, or if that's just economical for a theater sense and for a production sense of like,
It's probably a couple. Like, so they've been putting this on since the '60s as a stage play, so
yeah.
probably have a pretty good idea how, like, well, we can cut corners here.
um, they try to figure out what they're gonna do without Hamlet, because as far as they know, he's just gone now. Like the pirates took him, even though it seemed like he just hopped on the ship like willingly and like is now the leader of the pirates or whatever. I don't know. The player reads the note in a role play, and then like they hear it says to put Rosencrantz and Guildenstern to death, and then here like Guildenstern ends up I think it's Guildenstern. He ends up stabbing the player, and he falls down into like the hold, but then pops up back alive, and it was just a collapsing knife. But it's
Yeah.
all played like very seriously in the moment, and then he just pops up. It's like, ha ha. And then we got a collage of like Hamlet and all the deaths of like, you know, people getting poisoned, poison blades, everyone dying, and then there's just kind of like the like I don't know who's left alive at the end of Hamlet. Is it like Horatio? Or is he dead as well?
You know what? I forget. That's a good question.
Just some no names.
Because I know, well, there's a famous like quote, at the end that I read during this podcast actually.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think Horatio is left alive.
Okay. And then we see Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are strung up in nooses, wondering if they did anything wrong. And then basically the player hangs Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. You don't see it. You just see like the ropes. They cut to the ropes, like
Getting
being taught. Yeah, that's it. So.
I don't want to make it too dark.
And then someone from England delivers the news of their death to the dead king, queen, and Hamlet. So, I think it's so. Yeah, some messenger comes in and just talks to the court that's basically all dead except for like Horatio and two other guys. It's like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead, so, and that's the end of the movie. So, yeah. I guess I came in thinking it was going to be a lighter movie. I didn't. Then I feel like I didn't. Then watching this movie, I feel like I didn't do my homework. But I don't know. So.
No, it's funny. I mean, it's like I think you really got to be. Yeah, I probably should have just like watched a production of Hamlet.
Yeah.
Before I did this, but I had time to watch one movie, and this is what I watched. But yeah, it seemed like, I mean, it was good to see. It was fun to see like Gary Oldman and Tim Roth at the beginning of at the beginning of the end of their starting of their career. They moved on to do other things after this, but it was good to see them acting in this. And this is a movie that's like quirky. You should probably watch it like 10 times. There's a lot of things going on and being said that I feel like, oh, I missed that, and then you mentioned some things like, oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And
it also does feel like a lost Monty Python movie. So
yeah, this is very reminiscent because you told me like the guy wrote the script for Brazil, and it's like, yeah, this seems very, very Monty Python.
Yeah. And even like, I don't know. I remember everyone talks about like how hilarious Life of Brian is, and I think I've attempted to watch that twice and I just didn't get it. And so maybe now if I watch it again, I'd finally understand it. So
yeah, it is funny, but it's not as fun. It's like the Holy Grail is like my go-to.
Yeah. Well, I think like I know I was it there's like was there something like the Israeli Suicide Squad in that movie where they all run up and kill themselves when they're supposed to like, you know, it's brought up as like they're supposed to like save the day, and then it's like then their namesake makes them end their lives.
Oh, was that the Maccabees or whatever? Yeah, I forget. Yeah, there's all kinds of.
And so like that happens at the end of the movie. I remember people talking about it, and I'm just like I'm waiting for this hilarious scene to happen, and it doesn't happen in like the first hour and a half of the movie. So I'm like, I guess, and I wasn't getting the other jokes either. It's like, why aren't they doing wacky things like in Holy Grail? So they did like 3 movies, right? Like Holy Grail, Life of Brian, and like. or is one like basically like just the greatest hits of their skits or something like that?
Let me check. I'm not sure because I know they did Life of Brian.
Oh, the meaning of life, right? Yeah.
Meaning of Life. Yeah.
Which that does. I think that has like reproductions of some of their
Yeah.
skits in the movie, and then just other stuff going on. So,
God, that came out in '79.
um, but yeah, I'm not sure how well this did. Or, I mean, it has like in that 50th anniversary book, it has like quotes from like Roger Ebert and stuff like that. So it seemed like it probably reviewed well. Um, but those are all like English majors and stuff like that. Like, so maybe that speaks to the collegiate like crowd more than it would just like the normal person. So, um,
Yeah, it would require because this guy also like worked on the script for Shakespeare in Love
yeah.
and some other stuff. So yeah, he seems to be like in that world. I think it requires it's a little slightly more literate crowd.
Because like Tom Stoppard never directed another movie, which I don't know if that's speaking ill of Hollywood. Or I'm not even sure if Hollywood necessarily produced this. Like, probably, I guess. I'm not sure. I mean, it seems like it's a British production, but I don't know.
Yeah, I would definitely guess this is British because this is like I said, this was so it had been going on for 30 years. Before
Yeah,
they made
yeah.
the movie. So
Um,
let's see, Tom Stoppard was born Tomas Straussler in Czechoslovakia.
the now Czech Republic, right? I think.
Yes, present day Czech Republic.
Okay.
He left as a war orphan when the Nazis occupied there.
Huh.
So,
As you can, we're saying
looking for information. Yeah,
yeah, it's all right. We're saying probe in space containing the supercut scenes of the imperfect collection that it makes up the Verhoeven. Nathan, what one scene in this movie are we chucking into space?
probably the one where they're talking to the king and queen. That whole transition from the woods to talking to the king and queen,
Okay.
because that establishes kind of like just trying to put anything together in this movie, and it's all surreal, like
Yeah,
happenings.
yeah. You can find us at Letterbox username VHE. 1 out of 5 stars. What are we getting? Rosencrantz, Guildenstern are dead.
I'm probably going to give it 4 out of 5 because I think a lot of it went over my head, and I'm
Okay.
not properly prepared to watch it. I could probably be like, "Oh yeah, this connects to that, connects to
Yeah,
this."
I thought this was gonna be more like lighthearted and Simpsons. And, like this required like previous knowledge.
Yeah, if I had known, like, hey, but you better review Hamlet before you do this, I would have. I thought it was going to be more of a self-contained thing,
Yeah.
that I needed a cliff notes to go along with it. But um, I mean, it was a well-made movie, and there's things I remember from it. Now that I've seen it, it's like there's nothing. I'm not going to forget about this movie tomorrow.
Yeah,
We might do like a review on this in 3 years.
yeah.
Do all the
Well, I think even like that 50th anniversary book, it says like this is like Tom Stoppard's most like critically analyzed like work,
yeah.
which I don't necessarily know how popular he is, but that would make sense to me that this would be like you could take 40 different looks at this and come up with 40 different conclusions. So
Oh yeah, I was doing when I was doing some research, and I was like, well, what did other people think of this and why? Yeah, I found essays with like a lot of $20 words in it. Like, oh, this is for a different crew. Okay.
yeah, which again, if you see portions of this movie, I didn't even watch the trailer, but I'm guessing it's sold as like almost a slapstick comedy, and then it's
Yeah,
just
it's called Black Surreal British Comedy is what it's labeled as, which is exactly what Monty Python is. Black Surreal Comedy.
okay.
Um, all that stuff is even to like Ricky Gervais stuff is just like, yeah, it's just black comedy, just surreal. It's not necessarily surreal, but it's really dark.
Yeah.
So that's like a vein of that they follow.
Well, you can find us at verhoeveneffect.com. Usually, sometimes you have to go to like podcasters, Spotify.com and slash Verhoeven Effect, stuff like that, but Verhoeven Effect should get you there. I would say we have listener support, but I actually checked it last night and we don't have that anymore. So,
Okay, so don't worry about it.
yeah. Apparently now we have to meet standards to like take money from people. So
Oh no.
maybe this was just being used as like some sort of like money laundering scheme. So
Yeah, we're not generating enough money to hide cartel funds.
because there's like 4 requirements. You have to have like something like 10,000 subscribers, and then like have to have so many like hours of listens like a month or something like that. And we have 2 subscribers and like zero point 0.2 hours of listening. The only thing we qualify for is we have enough podcast episodes. So,
Yeah,
so
just grim determination.
um, you can rate our podcast where you want on your platform of choice, but the only thing that I was listen to is the highest rating. This is still relevant, so we must confuse the algorithm. Like give us a lead start on the mechanical overlords. um, you can find us at Twitter at Verhoeven Effect. You can find us at Blue Sky Social at Verhoeven Effect, and you can find us at Facebook at Verhoeven Effect. And you can find us at YouTube at American Greed Factory and watch both this and that show live and unedited. So for the Verhoeven Effect podcast, I'm Conlon.
And I'm Nathan.
Goodbye, America.
Well, I wasn't in agonizing pain, but I don't know if I was any better.